Well, hey, what's up, guys? In this video, we're going to be going over how to turn your septic client list for maintenance, for pumping, how to turn that list into money. So stay tuned. I'm going to get into it right after this. All right, welcome back. So in case you're new to the channel, Excavation Marketing Pros is dedicated to the success of excavation and septic contractors. And some of the contractors we work with also do septic pumping. So I want to share with you how you can be turning your client list into regular recurring revenue. So first things first is you need a client list. Let's go through exactly what that list should look like. So hopefully you have a CRM, a database of your previous clients. QuickBooks at a minimum will do this. Many of you have Jobber, Housecall Pro, Joist, other CRMs. But what you want to do is get the full list and export that with the type of service that they had, if you have it, their site address, and you're also going to want to have the last invoice date so you know the last time they had service. Now, once you have that, you're going to export it all, but you have a couple of issues with this list. Is for many of you, this list could be in the thousands, right? And you don't know if they still live at that address. So what you need to do first is make sure that the list is cleaned and you have the proper site address in a field. And then the phone number, you're not going to be sure if that's still their phone number. So that can be another issue. And then email, you want to make sure if you have it to have an email. Now, there are certain software and ways to clean these lists where you can detect whether or not it is a landline phone or a cell phone. Ideally, you want cell phone numbers. And so I would recommend that you comb the list to figure out which are cell phones or not. You should have the clients' names. You should have their addresses, their phone numbers marked if it's a landline or cell phone, email address, service, the last service date, last time you invoiced them. That's what the column should look like. So now that you have that list, you can start reaching out to them. Now, a couple things that I would recommend. Our process, how we would do this, would be to set up a sales pipeline. Before we start getting into automation, sending out messages and things like that, we would have a sales pipeline that would be made up of columns. And so like the first column would be clients. The next column would be correct address. We don't want to be offering these people service if they're no longer at the address. So first we want to confirm if they're at that same address with the septic system. The next column could be said yes to offer. We'll get into the offer in a little bit. The third column could be booked appointment or sold service, something like that. And the last column could be abandoned. Perhaps they raise their hand, they're interested in service, they're still at the address, but you've called like 3-4 times and they're not picking up, they're not responding. So there needs to be an exit. And so that particular customer could be moved over to abandon. All right, so that's just a little bit of a background on what the sales pipeline would look like. So how do we turn this list into money. First things first is we need a way to automate messages. You can have someone from your team outbound calling doing the same thing. But this way is relatively straightforward, and it's quicker. It's less burden on your team to be making outbound calls. But you could do both. So the first step would be to reach out and confirm, are they still the property owner at, and I would actually send out a message and an email with their address. So if you recall, the first step was to make sure you export that customer list, but have their address as a field, because we want to actually put that into the message that's going to go out by text and email, if that makes sense. So we're going to confirm that, and then we're going to wait for a reply. Now, here's where we get, I'm not going to get too technical, but where we can put in some fancy AI and automation to detect an affirmative response. Once we detect an affirmative response of a, yep, I still live there, yep, I'm there, yeah, what's going on? We can move them over to another automation that is going to send out an offer. And the offer is not designed to sell. Okay, that's important. What you want to do is just get them interested so someone on your team can call and set up an appointment. So something very simple could be like, hey, Bob, we're going to be in your area soon doing some routine inspections and pumping. While we're there, would you like us to stop by and check out your system? Okay. From there, we're waiting to get back another reply where we would again want to put in some AI, some automation to read responses by text and email. But yeah, sure. Okay. How much? Anything that indicates they're willing to play ball, that they have an interest. We then would want to move them to the next phase in our sales pipeline, which is said yes to service, right? Or interested, something like that. So now we have a very clear pipeline. It's all automated. It's moving people along based on what they're wanting. And someone from your team can then call them, say, hey, I just got your email or I just got your text message that you want us to have someone stop by while we're in your service area, correct? Oh, yeah, that's right. And then you get right into your script. Now, that's the last thing that I want to, maybe not the last thing, but one of the last pieces of the puzzle is go into this type of a situation prepared with a script. It should not be winged where someone from your team is just calling and every call is different, because you can't build a repeatable sales process around that, right? So have a set script ready with some rebuttals for your office admin or whoever is calling. And then I would even role play that out a little bit to make sure it flows smooth. So then when they call, they have a set script agenda. What we do is we put together a call flow. So we have, based on what they say, a flow to a different part in a script. That is, in a nutshell, the whole deal. So that whole system that I just described, how we do it is through automation and AI for septic businesses. And then I would also have an office admin, if it's during non-peak time and you're looking to drum up business, have them manually calling out to and leaving voicemails. Now, the last thing I would do is, if you are going to go the automated approach, start off slow and make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. See, I always keep mine right next to me. This way, that worked out perfectly. This way, if there is any errors in automations or the sales pipeline or whatever, because things happen, you're not like blasting out 10,000 messages at once, and creating a huge headache. Okay, that's it. That's it. That is how you turn your septic client list into predictable revenue. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give me just smash that thumbs up button. You can do it. Comment below if you have any questions, share it with a friend, and pat yourself on the back for making it through this video. All right, thanks. Bye.